Pow, 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 pow! It's time for another POW status update, live version, as they've been for a few months now. I'm a little late because I just had to pop by my neighbor, landlord, mom, ex-CTO, and get a glass of wine. White this time because summer has arrived in Oslo, Norway. Who knew that it could actually finally arrive? No, it happens every year, but I think the Norwegians are, as surprised every time it happens, because it kind of like we've had in May, it was like, is it summer? No, it's going to be like winter again, and then summer, and then winter, and then summer. Anywho, you are not here for the weather update on Norway. You are here to hear what's been happening in the world of POW this last month of May. So let's head on to that. Or before we do that, please say hi in the chat. It's always nice to see if there are some familiar faces here. If you have any questions for POW, let me know. You can just put those also in the chat. And that's all for messages. Let's go. So, as always, when I wrote the tweet about doing this live session again tonight, I was like, oh my God, it's been another month. What have I done? So again, I'm really happy I do these, because when I sat down and actually had a look at what had been happening on POW, the commits, there were many commits in May. Look at that. Well, this is April. So then we have May. And then if we go all the way down, newer, and this is June, but there is May. May. Older. May, all the way down here. So lots of things have happened. And as you can see, and as I've told you in the last status update, I had 2 extra developers helping me out this month. Ola, my partner, my partner in crime, father of my child, and junior developer, has been doing some good work this month. And also Sarah, one of my React kind of front-end heroes, have been helping out as well in May. So let's go over what they have done. So Sarah has created a better kind of onboarding experience for people who don't complete onboarding. Is that a good way of saying it? Well, so if you sign up for POW and you don't kind of answer all the questions, you might pay though, which in this example they have pay, but then they and then they get back, or then they come. Let's have some more wine. And then they come back to the app. Before, they were kind of just like thrown in there, and there were even like nans for other developers, that is like not a valid number, coming up on the day counter and stuff like that. Now they're kind of thrown into this page, which is similar to the onboarding, where it asks you to choose your custom menstruation tag. There are some cleanup of the copy that needs to be done in June, which is the month we're in now, because I have learned through a little poll on Twitter that people call it period and not menstruation. So we're going to clean that up and have it equal. So for instance, in Norway, a period is called mensen. So I'm going to choose that. And then my last date was maybe at the beginning of this month. And then I can decide to give an average so that POW has something to start with, but you can also skip it and we'll just use 28. But so let's say 25, and we do calculate. And there we are. We are in the app. So that is super cool that Sarah did that. And she has also been working on calendar view. So if you see here, we only have timeline view, which is kind of the main view for POW, where you can see all of your dates. And in this case, there are like nothing really showing up. But if we added something on like day 4, let's say I am feeling very tired, and then let's hashtag tired. So that's something you want to look at. Done. Then we will see, if we scroll down here, and we can see on day 4 next cycle, it's going to show up tired. But I've been wanting more of a kind of what I call a calendar view, I guess more of a grid view. And Sarah started work on that in May, and it will hopefully be finished this month. And we can have a check to see on the pull request, very early version of calendar view. And we've had some talks back and forth, but as you can see here, we have a little grid going and a little button up here that well, this was maybe very small for you, but we have a button up here where you can click on and off for the grid view. So I'm very stoked about that. And it seems like Alexandra, a good friend and also a developer, is very pumped about the calendar view. She wrote that when I was very pumped about the collaborative deploy preview feature from Netlify. We actually, on my other streaming show on Fridays, we had Jason on and he talked about this feature, and I'd used it before he was on our stream, and then I used it again after a stream, and I wanted to give him like a heads up. So it's super cool that Alexandra showed up here in the mentions and said that she is pumped for the calendar view. That makes me very motivated to see that users are excited to be seeing new features in POW. Very motivating, gives me energy and all of that jazz. Over to the features that Ola made. So if we go back to our app, for a while, we've had delete all my entries, which is if you want to start over, you can delete all your entries. Delete. Okay. But what we didn't have was a way to then delete my chosen period tag. So if you see up here in the setting, it says that you have mensen as is your chosen period tag. You can change that if I wanted period instead. And it's actually just added. It just makes it much easier for my logic. So now both mensen and period will indicate when you're menstruating. But if you've already then deleted all your entries, it should also be possible to delete all these tags so that you can really start fresh. So Ola created this tag and hooked it up to our action that deletes all the period tags. Okay, so you see for this one, we didn't have any confirmation because it's not really a bad, it's not really a bad thing to do. While when you're deleting all your entries, we really need to make sure that you want to delete them all and do that confirmation where you have to like type in delete. So super cool that Ola managed to do that. He also created a 404 page for us. So this is in dev. So we won't see it straight away, but if we head on over to our 404 page, and now it's not working, of course. It's not working locally. I have probably not pulled my code. I'm sorry, Ola. So let's have a look at, I think it will only like flicker there. It was like the cutest photo. So let's head on over to Unsplash to see the photo. So Ula is just saying from the back here, there are links. So let's have a look at that pull request. I don't know what I've done to my local dev environment. So let's have a look at these closed ones. Look at all these things we are closing. Delete. Where is the 404? Is there an image in here? So much stuff. I'm sorry, I'm messing this up completely. I can't find it. It's so cute, though. I want to show it off. Okay, we will have to... I will just remove my screen for a tiny bit so that I'm sure I'm not doing stuff that you don't want to see, and you can have a look at my like messy corner over there. Let's have a look. Why is stuff not working when you want to demo it? Okay. I am now showing the live side instead. Look at that. Is he not cute? It's a little lost Batman, Lego Batman. So that is the 404 page that Ula has created. I'm feeling a little flustered now. I'm going to check my notes. Yeah, and then I have, yay! And then I have done, as we could see when I was scrolling, I have done quite a lot of, now I'm just clicking everywhere. Got a little flustered from that. Let's have another sip of wine. Yes, we can see from the commits that I can't find now in this like small screen. I have done a lot of refactoring, but now I'm actually feeling like I've gotten somewhere with the refactoring. I feel confident that the code, kind of the back end of the front end, is working properly, and that it's sanitizing inputs, that it's checking so nothing bad happens. So when other people contribute, if they use the wrong function or action or do something that I didn't like intend for them to do, there are things that are like safe hatches, I guess, in these actions to make sure that they're only called when appropriate. So I'm super excited about that. It will be easier to let other people on board. And POW is, totally open source. You can go check out the code. If you want to contribute, please do. I desperately need some help on the visualization. If you want to code some of that up, head on over. As you can see, our contributors, you. We have a roadmap. There are stuff here. I haven't written all of these things yet, but, head on over and be a part of the POW crowd. Okay, over to marketing, or not really marketing yet, but content. So I have had a person on board also for May, as we've talked about in the last status update, and it's Ingvild from the same company as my VA. And she has been doing some cool things, written some cool content for POW. She started with just writing kind of about the phases of the menstrual cycle. And I really enjoyed her style. It's one of this like simplest form or simplest essays or sorry. It's one of the easiest to read and simplest articles I've read about the menstrual cycle, because usually it's like really hard to read. There's so many hormones, there's so much stuff happening, and the words are not that easy to read. And that's still true for this one, even though I like her kind of article style very much. When I was showing it to Ulla and I was trying to kind of read it through myself to memorize it, I still have a problem remembering all of these hormones and all of the names of these phases. So for instance, like menstrual phase, that is a pretty easy one. But then you have the follicular phase, there's the ovulation phase, luteal phase, and I don't remember like which happens in what phase. I don't know. I'm also a dyslexic, so these things are just really hard for me to remember. And Ulla said too, like it's really hard to kind of remember, like you read it, you understand it, but it's hard to remember. So we started throwing around ideas to how could we make kind of the story of the cycle easier to grasp, easier to remember, easier to explain. And we thought like it should be an actual like superhero story. If you've followed POW, a lot of the kind of design influences for POW, it's the superhero kind of style. It's not like fully realized yet, but I really want it to be. And we started talking about like this could be like a comic book series, or like not a series, but like a comic book where the different hormones come in and they like battle it out to see like who's in control of the uterus or the womb. So I pitched that to Ingvild and she loved the idea. So we are working on the story or the fairy tale or the comic book, if you like, the battle of the uterus or the womb. We'll see. And she started like mapping out the different characters. We have the estrogens, and they are 3. I didn't know that. And they're going to be like a sister trio. Well, this is work in progress, so we'll see what actually happens. So these are the estrogens. Then there's the progesterone, proggy. And I said this needs like an easier name. It's actually easier to read than gonadrofl. I mean, I can't read these things even. And then there's testo, of course, and then there's sero and dopa, and they come in and out of the cycle, and they do different things in different parts of the cycle. So we really hope if we can get this story correct or not correct, if we can like get this story to flow and to actually become a story and not just like a scientific article, I think a lot more people will be able to retain and understand what is actually going on with our hormones throughout the cycle. Because I think, of course, that knowing what is happening to your body in the cycle empowers you to feel more in control of the cycle instead of feeling like the cycle controls you. So hopefully other people will be as excited about this story as I am. And I have visions. I have visions in my head for this. I want there to be like, yeah, like real old school, like comic book style. We don't obviously have, the funds to make it all the way into kind of my furthest vision. But we're going to start by releasing, short chapters of each period and the cycle, maybe little character descriptions, and kind of do it like I do with everything, like release a little bit at a time and see what people like and what they don't like and get some feedback. And then hopefully at some point we'll manage to make a proper comic book out of this that you could order and have in your home. That would be super cool. Let me know if you think that's cool too in the comments. And in addition, she has written a newsletter draft and also an article about how POW is open source. But let's look at the newsletter draft. I really enjoyed this draft. We're trying to get POW newsletter out once a month is the plan. I think it's better to do once a month over the long haul than try to do like a more frequent schedule and then stop doing them. And she added this at the bottom: too many newsletters clogging your inbox. You can always unsubscribe from this, but depending on where I am in my cycle, so the sender is me, it might make me cry. I really like that because it's actually true. There is definitely parts of my cycle where an unsubscribe would make me cry. So I thought that was a funny way to end the email, but I would love to know from you in the chat or in the comments if it's too cheeky, like if you feel like that's like guilt tripping you not to subscribe, not to unsubscribe. But I thought it was funny. And oh, we have a comment, which is in a region I can translate. So he's been following or they have been following along and wondered if I could do like a Git workflow videos and how I make PRs and stuff like that. Yeah, I could definitely do that. I finally found a flow I'm really comfortable with. And I think it would be super to document the process for Ola as well, our junior developer. What do you think, Ola? He's in the next room. But he's listening on this on a lag. We'll see. But I think he would enjoy it as well, because it would be a way for me to document how we do Git branches and Git and PRs in POW for contributors to POW, because I would like to have more contributors to POW as it is, as I've said several times in this video, open source. So thank you for that suggestion. So that was the content stuff. And now we're going to go over to the stats, like how are we actually doing stats wise? And then we're done for today. So in May, we got 5 new customers and then 2 canceled. So that's 3 more customers, leaving us at like somewhere between 50 and 60, because at this moment, I don't really have a good grasp on how many people are past due, like meaning that they haven't kind of paid their installments because their cards have expired and stuff like that. And pro tip though, if you're listening, I don't actually check it. So even if you don't pay, you have access. That will change though this summer. But anyway, so we're between 50 and 60 customers at this point. I'm really happy with that. I think with the work, like the work that I've been doing, shaping up the back end of the front end, as I call it, is really good. It will help me create features faster. And with Sarah creating that calendar view, I think more people will feel like POW is a more complete product. And then, of course, it's the visualization that I have been talking about for months that I'm having trouble like nailing down. But I know from experience, I just need to chip away at it a little at a time. And with my kind of refactor stuff done, that is what I am promising myself and you to do this month, chipping away of the visualization stuff. And also getting this content out, because it's written. We just need to get it out there in the open for people to enjoy. And that's it for today. See you in the... Oh, remember to subscribe, comment, like, all of that. And then there's even the newsletter that I send out every Sunday that you can subscribe to if you check the description below. That's why I'm sitting pointing like this. And have a super good week and a super good June. And I'll see you back here on July 8th. Skull. And pow, 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 pow. Bye-bye.